Welcome to Elevate with Liana and Marisha, a space for meaningful conversations that help us feel well, think deep, and live wide. Today, Marisha and I are so honored to be joined by an extraordinary, lovely being, Loredana Pazzini, an independent curator, writer, and one of the 4 curators of the Bangkok Art Biennale 2022.
Loredana has been a powerful force in championing contemporary Southeast Asian art, creating bridges across cultures, and elevating artists and their stories from this part of the world. Because both Loredana and I are in Bangkok right now, her work has not only shaped exhibitions, but I dare say is also helping to shape the Southeast Asian art scene itself. And we are so grateful because today she's here with a very special, exciting announcement to share with us. Thank you for doing this with us, Loredana. We're so excited.
And we can't wait to hear it directly from you. But before then, warm welcome to you, Loredana. Benvenuta.
Grazie. Thank you so much.
Che onore averti qui con noi. What an honor it is to have you with us. Loredana, let's begin by exploring the incredible Southeast Asian art scene with you. Can you take us on a quick tour? What's pulsing right now? What's lighting you up?
Wonderful question. Thank you for having me here. First of all, it's a pleasure to be with you. Also to inspiring ladies and joining this new adventure that you are starting. It's really a pleasure for me to be here with you and doing this together. I've been living in Southeast Asia for about 25 years, on and off, since 2000, and specifically in Thailand. So I would say 25 years ago to today, there are lots of differences and in terms of the art scene, it has incredibly developed. At the same time, core issues or aspects that were fundamental then and are so important now still remain. The persistent cultural aspects that make Thailand as it is, a very interesting country. Most of my research is in Thailand, but I've also worked in Cambodia, in Myanmar, in Vietnam, Indonesia, and all these countries, all what we call Southeast Asia as a region, is actually made of several countries, each very unique, each very different and distinct in terms of cultural and historical background. And that is what comes through the contemporary art today. Each different artists from different countries develop a specific voice, which is strong, is important to listen. And what I do is try to bring those voices that sometimes are quiet or unheard to be heard through my projects. So 25 years from the beginning of me landing in Thailand, things have evolved personally and in the art scene. But what we try to do is actually looking at the depth of the culture in every aspect, and that is something that we can only learn from history.
Wow. So inspiring. It's really, it's so exciting. So, and now let us dream a little bit with you and show us, Loredana, how someone who is curious about discovering Southeast Asian art, what's the beauty that you'd hope they would see and find when they're looking at Southeast Asian art? For someone who doesn't know the Southeast Asian art scene that much.
What do I hope? I think what I hope is that, first of all, people that are not familiar with Southeast Asia become familiar with Southeast Asia. They become familiar with, as I said, the history of this region, which is very vast and very diverse. If contemporary art, which is what I do, working specifically in contemporary art and with a range of artists from very, very young to senior, if contemporary art is a way for people that are unfamiliar to Southeast Asia to start getting some sort of understanding of what is Southeast Asia and what are those different stories and histories in each and every country. What are the social aspects that are most important today? I think that is already successful. So I take my approach to contemporary art not so much as a window to show, but as a portal, as an entrance way to become familiar or understand what's the richness of this part of the world. And within that, there are amazing contemporary artists that do incredible works that oftentimes perhaps don't get to partake in international platform or experience, because in Southeast Asia we are a bit far removed from the center, and the center of art and culture has always been the Western center. So my approach is anti-hegemonic and non-Western centric, and what I want to bring and with my exhibitions is, as I said, those voices and those narratives, which also happen to be incredibly interesting visually. So I think it's also a very powerful journey from a visual perspective, and then it becomes very powerful from a content or research perspective.
Yeah, and it's just exploding right now, right? It feels like it's thriving, and there's just so much excitement around it right now. Loredana, let's take a deeper dive into Loredana. Who is Loredana? Because what's also really interesting about your story, my friend, is that you started this new career in your 40s, right, Loredana?
Yes. So
tell us how you got here. And was there a key moment, or what are some of the moments where you think, oh my gosh, this is why I do what I do now?
What I do.
Yeah.
So we moved to Thailand, my husband and I, when in 2000. So we were much younger. We at that point didn't have kids. So we were exploring this part of the world for his job, and I was very happy to come along. My background was art. History but very much Western centric, was art history, and I then worked for many years in fashion, and later on in interior designing, so all different industries that have to do with, I guess, colors, compositions, aesthetics, basically. And then we moved to Thailand, and of course moving to Thailand in 2000, as I said, was a very interesting experience. So different from all I knew from other countries where I lived, and so different culturally. Very few people would be able to speak in English, so I started learning Thai, and with that I also wanted to learn more of the culture. The philosophy, the religion, and so I started researching and doing my insights on all different aspects of the culture. And then, as I said, we lived on and off in Thailand. For one period of time, we went to Singapore, and that was the place where I decided to continue my education in my early 40s, at 40 actually. I decided why not to do a master in Asian art histories, and I've already been working at that point with the Singapore Art Museum, so I had the exposure of this context of Southeast Asian art practices, and so I really felt that was a way for me to develop my inner skills, or maybe passion, and I think it's now really based on my passion for all what I do. And so that was my first MA, and with that I started teaching, and I started after that doing a lot of curatorial works, and then I felt it wasn't enough. I needed more knowledge. I needed to understand more critical theories to do this job. And so I did another master's in England. And that was really very important. One led to the other. Of course, when you start studying at 40, so the educational system has changed so much that there were no longer books. Or actually, first master, there's still books. Second master, absolutely no books. Everything is online. Everything is a completely different system. But that was part of the challenge. Learning how to learn, and also being immersed with lots of young students. Not necessarily only young. There were also some my age, different generations. But being older or more mature student has definitely allowed me to be more confident, and that's something that comes with age. At least it came with me, with my experience of becoming older, and more confident and more decisive on what I think it's worth to fight for.
Wow, it's extraordinary, and Marisha and I were already thinking, what challenges did you find along the way? And you've actually answered that question already. It's the age that you're going back to study in your 40s. You're surrounded by youngsters, and that must have been a massive challenge for you. And as you say, what was the major win that you got out of it? You've mentioned it's confidence, yeah? Confidence, yes. I don't know if I were very confident when I started, but definitely I felt I could there because I knew who I was, and I also knew what I wanted. Not the picture wasn't so clear. I couldn't really imagine where I would go with this new career, but I knew that it was really worth it. As I said, persisting, not giving up, and so confidence, determination. I think rigorous work, because your work can only be valuable or really considered, especially if you are already of a certain age. You shouldn't be doing that many mistakes. So I had to be very rigorous in my approach, in my research, and in my collaboration with artists and spaces, so that I could be always more and more professional. And that, I think, was very important. And it's still very important, of course. The journey is only started and ongoing.
Now the journey is taking such an exciting turn, right, Loredana? So now we know you have something very special to announce with us today. The floor is yours. What's your big news, Loredana?
It is a big news in the sense that it's so humbling, and it's an honor. It's an honor, and I'm at the same time humbled to being appointed to as a curator for a national pavilion at the Venice Biennale 2026. The Timor-Leste government has given me this opportunity, which is unbelievable, and I'm very grateful. It's an honor, as I said, because the Venice Biennale is the place where the best, or at least the most interesting works are shown. It happens every 2 years. It happens in Venice. It's the oldest biennale in the history of the biennales. In fact, it's the first one, which started about 120 years ago, and which has inspired then the model for many other biennales throughout the world. But this is really the one. And I've been visiting as an audience. I've participated on few projects and collaterals, but of course, curating a national pavilion is a great honor and a huge commitment, which I embrace very happily. Also because I think the country that has given me this opportunity deserves a lot of attention, and that fits very well in what I have perhaps shared so far with you, to give voices to the unheard or the unseen. And I think Timor-Leste plays an important role in this. Also an important role in Southeast Asia. It's the youngest country, is one of the smallest country, and has gone through a history of fight and violence. So now we are here to trace a new future for Timor-Leste. So it's even more exciting to be given this opportunity, because it really is meaningful to turn the page on the history of a country that needs to look at a new future. Wow. And we will do that together.
Loredana, congratulazioni, congratulations.
Grazie.
We are so happy and excited for you. And so just share with us the vision as you step into this new phase of your life. Like,
how will it happen? Well, of course, every year I'm engaged in a number of curatorial projects. So it could vary from 3 to 4 to sometimes 5, which is a lot, because every project takes about a year for me to prepare, from research to connections to development. So of course, the Venice Biennale, as big as it is, comes along. It requires my full attention. So I have just had an exhibition opening in Bangkok last week, and a project that I've already started working, and which of course I deliver at my best. But from now on, I think I will really focus on the Venice Biennale and on the Timor-Leste pavilion, which, as I said, is such a big honor and commitment. It really requires my full attention, and it's not only me, but it's a team working alongside with me, and we are also engaged. We are also committed to this project. So there's a lot to do, and we still have 10 months ahead of us. The opening to the public of the Venice Biennale is May 9, 2026. It goes on for 8 months until April. So it's not only opening, but then is also creating activities for the months that, subsequently to the opening. So it's a big project, which will see me wholly invested in from now onwards.
Loredana, it's just so cool. I, for one, am so proud and excited for you. I really am looking forward to seeing you through this year and following in your footsteps through this journey.
And see you in Venice.
Yes. So it's just so excited for you. Congratulations. Very, very, very well deserved. We love to, now that we're coming towards the end here of our episode with you, and we love to ground these conversations with something our audience can take away and apply in their own lives. So what's your number one tip, Loredana, for making that shift, that transition? And you've had such a stark transition in your professional career, right? So that one message or an image that you'd love our audience to walk away with today.
Well, one guiding sentiment that I've had since the beginning, which has become unclear, as I said, becoming more mature in my life, is that whatever we do, it has to be done with passion, with really deep, profound passion. And with passion comes commitment, comes professionality, comes dedicated work. But passion needs to be the engine. For me, it's the engine. And no matter how many hours I work, no matter how exhausted I am, if that is my passion, it's an impulse that keeps me going. And with that, I would say also to never tell yourself that you can't do it. whether female or male or any gender variation, I think we should always believe in ourselves. And there are moments that, we do doubt, but maybe an image that I think we should always have in front of us, it's an open door. We can always go through an open door and trace some journey at any point in our life. So long that we believe in it, it is possible and it will happen.
Precious. Thank you. That is so valuable and so inspiring and encouraging. Now, just a few rapid fire questions that help us get a glimpse of the person behind the work. Just answer with whatever comes in your mind first, very quick and short. A ritual that grounds you.
Going to the gym. Going to the gym, exercising. Yes, that was the other actual challenge that I had in my life. I did my half marathon, and it made me very happy. And I don't think I'm specifically very gifted in running or in any particular sport, but yes, it was something that I reached. So I would say exercise, gym, physical exercise. It's an important ritual.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you put us to shame, Loredana. All right, a quote or a book that changed your life.
Oh, a quote or a book that changed my life. There are several books that comes to mind that I've read mostly recently. And to be honest, I am reading a lot recently of female writers, mostly, not necessarily, stories about women. And I don't want to sound feminist because I'm not, but I do think that reclaiming those female voices is very important in society, for a balanced society. So I've read several books, some more, that stuck with me more than others. But that's what is perhaps helping me, changing my view on an equal society. And with that, as a mother, I try to also instill that in my children's mind as a future generation. So I don't know if that's a quote or not even a title of a book, but generally, I think what's going on with my current interest.
Beautiful. One object in your home that tells your story.
One object, yeah. Well, I think part of the story, but definitely artworks. I wouldn't say one or the other, but I would say some artworks that throughout this number of years I have collected. Not many, because I'm not a collector, but I've also been given very graciously by artists I worked with. And those are the pieces that I cherish the most, because I take them as a symbol of friendship and mutual respect. They've trusted me in doing a project with their works, and then having this gift, which was obviously a gift not needed, it made me really feel very, very special. So those pieces that I have in my place here are those that can tell a part of my story for sure.
Beautiful.
Oh, cool. And last question, Loredana, what does living wide mean to you?
I think the way I interpret it immediately, it would be to never limit yourself to one thing or one aspect, but broadly look at all the possibilities that there are in front of you at any stage in life, from young to any age. And that's also, I think, is what I do with my work, with my projects, with my children, which are an important project, life project, to keep pushing always beyond the boundaries that we built around ourselves. This is what I do in my projects. I tell to my children, and I tell to myself if sometimes I'm skeptical. Living wide in my opinion, it means do not limit yourself and let it just grow as it goes, and it may be surprising to yourself.
Remarkable. Loredana, che dire? Grazie tesoro. Thank you so much
Grazie a voi.
for your world with us today, your work, your passion, your nature, your story truly inspires us to see beauty, to live with intention, and to elevate our own creative journeys, and never to stop dreaming and creating more, right? The best is yet to come. And for those listening, see the links attached below this video so you can follow Loredana's fascinating journey, work, and connect with her maybe. We definitely are following you, Loredana, that's for sure.
Thank you. And thank you, Loredana. I mean, it's such a joy to celebrate this epic moment in your career with you today, especially. So thank you for sharing this moment with us.
Thank you for your energy.
Let's all keep dreaming, find the beauty here around us, and elevating. Until next time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ciao. Celebrating Loredana. Yay!